Hi everyone, I'm Stan from Eagle Vision, here with Peter Sugars from Sugar and Homes. Look, I wanted to catch up with Peter. Peter has been involved with architecture and development over the last 30 years in a whole variety of, types of developments, from luxury residential through to multi-storey apartments, through to commercial, through to aged care. And with all of those, elements, what I wanted to understand is what's next. At the moment, the apartment development seems to be oversaturated in Melbourne. I'm not sure about the rest of Australia, but definitely in Melbourne. And so this series of videos will be about what are the styles of developments developers could be looking into, and what are the elements in the future of 2 to 3 years time, what we'll see more of and development. So the way we wanted to break down these videos is more about the target markets and the types of buyers that are going to be out there. And in this particular video, in the first one, we'll talk about young professionals, what they're looking for. So Peter, that particular market, they're quite active. They've got money to buy with.
It is, as you said earlier, Stan, is that the apartment market is a little bit shaky at the moment. And that's a combination of the banks holding back, our Asian friends are sort of pulling back a little bit also, and oversaturation.
Yeah.
And I've been telling my clients now for the last couple of years is that be very careful where you buy. Some areas are still doing very well, some segments are doing better, but stick to the inner circle, inner Melbourne area, stick to smaller boutique developments if you're looking at apartments. We're also finding that apartments are now getting slightly larger. Prior to this, the biggest markets seem to have been the small 50 square metre one bedroom. We're now finding that because the market is now pushing more towards the own your own occupiers, they're looking at slightly larger, the 2 bedroom.
Yeah, very good. And so these young professionals, are there areas that they're looking into?
I very strongly suggest areas that have got a good commercial centre nearby. We're doing a number of projects in the South Yarra area, and again, in some parts are oversaturated, some parts are still doing well. Again, small apartments, areas of Richmond, St Kilda still doing very well. I would be careful about going into the city itself. I think there's a little bit too much happening there now. So they're the main inner ring around Melbourne, the centre of CBD.
Sure. And what style are they looking for? Are they just looking for apartments, the young professionals?
Oh, they're looking still at apartments because they're affordable, but we're also finding that there is now a greater emphasis on townhouse developments.
Okay.
And the difficulty there is actually finding the land for them that is still, you can afford to put townhouses on there rather than apartments. We're looking at a couple of different ways of doing that, and we're finding that the younger professionals are not adverse to 3 stories.
Okay.
So what we're doing is narrow 3-story walk-ups, 1 or 2 car garages, and there, instead of fitting 3 onto a site, we can probably get 4 onto a site.
Okay.
So then it becomes commercially viable.
Definitely.
And we're also finding that our Chinese clients are starting to swing towards that because they're also looking for a little bit of dirt around their place.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And what about the home office kind of environment?
That again is also very good. Again, in areas like the Richmond, St Kildas, South Yarras, trendy areas, you'll get young professionals, maybe a couple. And what we've done for them before is that on the ground floor of their townhouse is a small office centre. Okay. You've got a car parking there, you've got an office and in and out, and they can have a home life business at the upstairs.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Are they looking at commercial at all?
Commercial is still doing quite well. There is a swing towards it now. There's a number of developers are now finding that commercial is somewhat better. The feedback I'm getting from a number of my sources in the commercial, leasing especially, is that there is a dearth of high quality, medium-sized offices around in the inner urban area.
Yep.
And those ones are being snapped up fairly quickly. One that springs to mind very much is the Cremorne area.
Okay.
It's very hot at the moment.
Yep.
But mind you, then also so is the prices.
Peter, and so is there any case study that you can think of the type of dwellings that young professionals are looking for?
Stan, we're looking at one in particular at the moment in Hawthorne in Burwood Road.
Yeah.
It's essentially, I think it's just over 500 square metres, a long narrow block, and it was presented to us initially for an apartment building, but it was physically impossible with setbacks. So we came back to our client and said, we can fit on there 5 3-storey townhouses, 3 bedrooms, and we're going for it at the moment. It's at town planning and we're very confident it'll go through.
Yeah.
But that's a fairly intensive use of it, and it made it financially viable. If you only fitted 3 onto there, 3 normal townhouses, it wouldn't have stacked up.
Yeah, right, fair enough. And that area is perfect for the young professionals.
It's close.
Transport, everything.
Exactly, it's close to Camberwell Junction.
Yeah.
It's got transport, it's got shops, it's got lifestyle, and it's perfect for them. Mind you, again, it's for the younger professionals. You're not going to get the semi-retired or the retired with 3 stories.
Yeah, absolutely. But then, feasibility-wise, it works.
It works extremely well.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, thank you for watching this episode. In the next one, we'll talk about the next demographic that we're thinking about, which is cashed-up early retirees and what style of accommodation they'll be looking for.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks.